Hello and welcome back to Sitcom Showdown, episode 73, where everything's still topsy-turvy as we are in the month of May.
Yes, it's Hall of Shame month. So what we're looking to do is nominate episodes that are from a good sitcom,
Yes,
but a bad episode.
right.
Yes, we're looking for something that's 1 star in order to get into the Hall of Shame, so it's got to be pretty dire.
Yes.
But you managed to do it last fortnight, Jeff, so
Yes.
well done there.
Thank you.
And it's my turn, and I've chosen, it's something else that's been rebooted recently.
Oh, okay.
That's not the only parallel between this one and the one that you chose.
I see.
I chose an episode of Mad About You called Bing Bang Boom. It's episode 2 of season 2.
Right.
Yes, and shall I tell you a little bit about Mad About You?
Please do.
Okay, well, this description is modified from IMDb. This sitcom is about the fairly ordinary daily lives of young, newlywed New Yorkers, too nice for his own good, filmmaker Paul Buckman, and his assertive partner Jamie Buckman, who are almost constantly bickering and making up with each other and just about anybody else, notably his parents and siblings, her sister, their colleagues, friends, superintendent, and neighbours, psychotherapist, all kinds of staff, customers, officials, bystanders, etc., even their dog Murray and his dog walker. Yeah, so this came out originally on the NBC network in the US and ran for 7 seasons, 1992 to 1999. And it won numerous awards, including 4 Golden Globes and 12 Primetime Emmy Awards. So very successful,
12?
ran for a long time.
Oh my goodness. Far out. So the actors must have each got,
Might have got a couple each.
yeah, and there might have been a best script, and they might have
Best
won
supporting
3 or
actor
4 in one
or
year.
actress
Yeah.
or-
Fair enough.
So lump it all in together, and there was a total of 12.
Wow.
And then, as we've already said, they came back for an 8th season in 2019, which was a limited series picked up by Spectrum Originals for 12 episodes.
Never heard of him.
No,
Oh well.
no, that doesn't matter. That's fine. We did cover the UK remake of this back in Sitcom Showdown, episode 69, and that was called Loved by You.
Yes, we gave it a minor pasting, as I recall.
A minor pasting, but I think we did establish our respectamundo for Mad About You,
True.
because we did a comparison and contrast
Yeah.
with the two, because it was pretty much the same episode
Yeah.
remade in the UK. Now, anything you want to say before we move on?
No.
No. Okay, so Paul Reiser stars as Paul Buckman, so it's a Paul playing a Paul.
Right.
Keeping
That's
things
always
simple.
handy.
Yes, that's good. You can't confuse the names,
No.
as I often want to do.
Just like Terry plays Terry in Brooklyn Nine-Nine
Very good.
and
very good.
refers to himself in the third person.
That's it.
It's great. Sorry, Steve.
That's all right. Paul was a stand-up comedian who moved into movies such as Diner, Beverly Hills Cop, and Aliens, and then, of course, moved on to Mad About You. He also starred in a TV sitcom called My Two Dads, which was before Mad About You.
Yeah.
It's not ringing any bells?
Well, it's the sort of title that rings a bell, but I can't picture any of the plots or
That
the
was,
theme tune or the anybody.
87 to 90,
Ooh.
so it did run for a little while. Yes, but Mad About You was after that, so...
Okay.
Then Helen Hunt stars as Jamie Buckman, and she was a child actor before Mad About You came along. And then afterwards, she went on to major movies.
Yep.
Can you think of any of them off the top of your head?
Nah.
No. Right, see if these ring a bell.
Right.
Twister,
Oh, of course.
not the dance,
No.
the whirly things in the sky. As Good as It Gets.
Oh,
She was Jack Nicholson's neighbour in that one,
okay. Righto. Yep, yep.
and she won an Academy Award for Best Actress in it.
Uh-huh.
And now this episode that I've chosen doesn't feature many other actors or actresses,
Uh-huh.
but I did want to mention that there are many great and well-known supporting actors in Mad About You, such as John Pankow, Lisa Kudrow, and Richard Kind.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't appear in this particular one.
I wanted to ask you about the other cast member, Murray the dog. Do we have any info on Murray at all?
I didn't look up Murray the
You
dog.
didn't look
What's
up his
going
other
on?
credits. or what his real name is.
It could have been 5 different dogs. Who knows?
Or what he was on per episode.
Yeah. No.
All right, okay. Well, when we come back from watching this, hopefully I'll have got some information for people.
Okay, well.
Because all the Murray fans will be out there, They'll be
You've
saying,
dangled that carrot. People have got to come back now. Yes. Have we talked before about what you've seen of this?
No, probably not.
It was a back in the day
in
thing, wasn't it?
episode 69, we probably would have talked about it briefly. Yeah, I mean, this was on TV. It was a bit of a hit, in Australia as well as everywhere else. So I would have probably recorded the odd episode.
Yep.
Back in the days when we were watching news radio and Seinfeld and Just Shoot Me and all that sort of stuff. So yeah.
Cool.
I do remember I've never watched it after its original run because I watched the last episode of Mad About You and was so crushed by the events that it all turned out. It was all too depressing, so I thought, I'm not watching that show again.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry to make you relive
That's all right.
the experience.
Enough time has passed. It should be fine.
The wounds have healed.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, let's go and watch it then.
Cool.
See if it's as bad as I think.
No worries.
All right.
Tell me why I love you like I do. Tell me who can stop my heart as much as you. Let's take each other's hand as we jump into the final frontier.
I mean, you still want it, don't you?
Yeah, don't you?
Yeah, don't you?
This is insane. Let's just do it. I mean it. Let's just do it.
Great. But explain to me so I'll know, how does this relate to last time?
What was last time?
Last time, you gave me this whole lecture on sensitivity.
Well, that was then. This is now.
Okay, see, my big mistake is I listen to you.
I love when you listen to me.
Yeah, no, but then you change.
You're right. Let's do it.
Just like that. Bing, bang, boom.
At this point, I'd settle for the boom.
You don't want the bing and the bang.
I did when we started.
And now?
I'm over it.
You're a very complex woman.
You don't want the boom?
Of course I want the boom. Guys always want the boom. We only made up the whole bing and the bang just to get the boom.
Well, we're back.
Yeah. Just shaking his head. Well, shall we tell the people a bit about this episode?
Yes, please do.
Yes,
Go
with
right ahead.
With excitement.
Yeah.
Okay, so Paul and Jamie are at home in their apartment. They're settling in for the night in their gym jams, as you do. And she's in a bit of an odd mood, it seems, getting Paul to check the front door. And he says, "Oh, no, I've already checked it. Don't worry about it." And she says, "Oh, what's that? I can hear it. It's your stereo. Your stereo's humming." So she insists on him going out to look at the stereo humming. And when he gets out there, she calls through and says, "While you're out there, check the chain on the door."
Yeah.
So she just wants everything to be just so.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, we go to after that, we go to the credits. And then when we come back from the credits, we're in the bathroom where they're brushing their teeth and flossing and even a bit of the old mouthwash.
Okay, fair enough.
Is that still a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you can still buy all those things in the shops.
Very good. I was impressed by, acting while you're flossing. That's not good. That couldn't be easy, could it? Surely. No. Anyway.
I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, a lot of people, there's got to be something to, props and stuff. Actors like their props. But I don't think floss would ever be high up on the list, would it?
No. I wouldn't have thought so. Yes, anyway, moving on from the floss.
Although we spent less time on it than they did, to be fair.
Yes. So Paul is trying to distract Jamie from the subject of the electric blanket, which his mother bought them, and apparently didn't go down so well. He says, "We've got other business to attend to tonight."
Yes.
Da-da-da-da.
And that's when you get the inkling.
Yes. I wonder what the bing of the bang and the boom is
Ah.
that they're talking about. Yes. Anyway, you get the idea, listeners. So we discover that Paul has taken the night off because he's been on night shoots for this documentary that he's doing for about a fortnight or so. He's a bit obsessed about this project, I think. It transpires. Anyway, so he's taken the night off, and this is their chance to get jiggy. And they've obviously been looking forward to this, as the young people do.
Well, I have to schedule it in.
Yeah, that's right. Put it on the...
So they're transitioning from the young people to the old people. I think that's what this is.
But this is the problem. You put it on the calendar and
Yeah.
it takes all the sizzle out of it, doesn't it?
Well, totes.
Yes. All right, anyway, so they move through to the bedroom. They've flossed, they've mouthwashed, they've brushed.
Mm-hmm.
They've covered all the bases. So they move into the bedroom.
They've argued.
They've argued, yeah. Get that out of the way. Murray jumps up on the bed. Now, he may be attracted by a chocolate which Paul put on Jamie's pillow because he's trying to woo her and put her in the mood. So they shoo him off, of course, and discuss the fact that he's been chasing this imaginary house. He's been chasing an imaginary mouse all week, which is causing him to slam into the wall all the time.
Yep.
And this is punctuated by a thud in the other room, which is obviously Murray hitting the wall in pursuit of the imaginary mouse. Jamie at this point remembers that she missed a call from Fran earlier and needs to bring her back. Paul, of course, tries to put her off.
Yep.
And distracts her by kissing her. Murray runs across the bed, and there's a thud on the far side of the bedroom this time, which is noted. And they start kissing again. Murray runs back across, thud. And I think it's Paul says, "Is it just me, or is he breaking the mood here?"
Yeah.
And that's the episode.
No,
not really.
There's more to it than that.
We could just end it there.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are you going to do, listeners? You're going to put the radio on.
Oh,
was it AM or FM, Jeff?
It'd have to be FM.
Have to be FM.
Absolutely.
Surely.
Yeah.
So they're looking for some nice music to set the mood, and they end up with Beethoven, which...
after a few other stops.
Yes, a few other stops along the way. That turns out to be a bit overbearing, so it gets turned off. Cue more kissing and more Murray. Jamie complains about the dog, and I don't blame her.
Yeah.
And getting off the bed, she hits her funny bone, and the phone rings.
Yeah. So it's not going well.
It's not. It's just one disaster after another. Anyway, it's Jamie's mum on the phone, and she's rung up to have a bit of a chat, and Paul's trying to get her off the phone, and then her mum announces that she's going to get her bunions sliced off.
And
at that point, he just capitulates and accepts the fact that she's about to pick the phone up.
Yeah, because we're hearing mum on the answering machine.
Yes, I should have said that.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yes, back in the day, we had these things called answering machines.
Yeah.
And you could listen to someone leaving a message and decide, do I want to pick up the phone or don't I want to pick up the phone?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, anyway. He lost the
battle.
Lost the battle there, so she's talking to her mum on the phone, and he's kissing her and trying to get her off the phone. Cue Murray jumping back across the bed and thumping into the wall again. Jamie says goodbye, and she gets off the phone and, driven partly mad by her mother, goes in search of chocolate and wanders off to the kitchen. Paul follows her through. There's a bit of bants in the kitchen, and then they come back to the bedroom and unplug the phone. Oh, did you want to say anything about that dialogue in the kitchen? Was there anything of note there? No.
Nope.
No? Okay. Back to the bedroom, they're going to unplug the phone, which seems like a very sensible idea. There's more kissing on the bed, and they hear panting. No, it's not them. It's Murray the dog, who is watching them. She can't get in the mood while the dog's watching her, right?
You don't want to hear from across the room?
No.
Oh.
Quiet, Jeff, quiet. So he gets let out, and Paul opens the window. I don't know why he does this, but they can hear the neighbours.
Well, he said it's hot in here.
They also have the curtains open, which seems to me a strange thing to do if you're about to...
I have all sorts of window-related questions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to...
Wow, no, we'll save it for later on.
Those? No, okay.
Yeah.
Righty-o. Anyway, so the neighbours having a chat about what they're going to have for dinner or something like that. And this annoys Paul, and he calls out, and there's an argument with them. In between kissing, the window gets shut, and Jamie decides she needs to go for a pee. And Paul, looking out the window while she's off in the toilet, gets an idea for the shot in this documentary he's making, and he decides he's going to put some notes down about this.
Yeah, before the inspiration leaves,
right?
Yeah.
Before it leaves his mind. Then Jamie picks up the phone to return Fran's call and continues eating chocolate. They're back in the lounge room at this point, I should add. Murray runs past, thump, and then we go to an ad break. Then we return and Murray runs past again, thump. There's a bit of arguing here about the fact that both of them are getting sidetracked by various things.
Oh, yeah.
Which is understandable. And then they talk about the bing, the bang, and the boom. Now, how would you...
With the title of the...
Yes, which is
episode.
harkening back to the title of the episode.
Yep.
And I think the bing and the bang is a reference to foreplay.
Yeah.
And the boom is obviously the boom.
Yep. And the bang is the bang.
Because at this point they're like, let's give up on the bing and the bang, and what about... You're still interested in the boom.
Yeah.
So they have a whole conversation about this. They get that bedded down. And then the doorbell rings. It's Fran. She's been out jogging, Jeff.
Oh.
And she's pretty pumped. She's popped in because Jamie hadn't returned her call.
Yeah.
Now, this is obviously the day before mobile phones.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Anyway, she's been out listening to Eye of the Tiger or something like that. So she's really excited. And she says... I feel great. Feel my ass.
Yeah.
Or my ass.
Yeah.
So Jamie felt, it's like, come on.
Yeah. How muscular is this? Come on now.
Yeah.
And then
So Jamie
goes,
has a go.
"Oh."
She goes, oh, that's impressive. And then she's like, Paul.
Yeah,
It's like, no.
He goes, sadly, I'm not allowed. And Jamie goes, it's all right. Off your pop.
Is this funny or is this...
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway.
It wasn't unfunny.
Then Fran twigs to the fact that they're in their gym jams and obviously headed towards the bedroom.
She's thinking it's a bit
boudoir.
early for people to be in their gym jams.
Yes. Sensible people are out jogging.
Yep.
Yes, anyway, so she realises, she twigs to what's going on and decides to make a hasty entrance, but not before she comments on how...
hasty exit, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. Paul wants to make a hasty entrance.
Yeah. Steady on. Yes, anyway, where was I?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Look,
so-
before we get back to where you were...
The ears.
Sorry.
Finally, it's the ears.
Leading up to... Yeah, cool. Leading up to this episode, so is this recreational... or are they trying to make a baby at this point? Have they decided in the previous episode, we're going to try and have a baby?
No, there's no talk
like
of
that?
babies yet.
All right, cool, yeah. Now I know where we're at. Okay. So ears, you say?
Yes. So the ears. Fran comments on, look, his ears do get red.
You were right, yeah.
Yeah.
Right about his ears.
And then, so she departs and Paul goes, what's this about my ears? And Jamie says, well, your ears go red when you're turned on. And I
goes, "They
thought,
what?"
this doesn't make any sense because the last time they kissed was about 5 minutes before all this business. Then I thought, did his ears turn red because he grabbed Fran's bum?
Oh, yeah, okay, let's say that. He might have had visions of all sorts of scenarios playing out in his mind when Jamie gave him the go-ahead to grab Fran's bot. Who knows?
Then he
I don't
didn't
know.
get
It's
in
not for
trouble
us
for it.
to speculate.
Anyway, the whole, I think it's all a bit awkward.
Yeah.
Probably meant to be.
And then they string out the whole ears thing for at least a good 4.5 minutes.
Oh, and by the way, we learned that he also gets an intense look in the bedroom.
Does he? Okay.
Back in episode 69, remember? That happens at the very end of the episode.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
He says, so this intense look I get.
Yeah.
Show me it. And then they go off into the bedroom.
Yep. So she's got all these things written down in her diary, Jamie has, about all the
Gets an
physical
intense look.
manifestations.
His ears go red.
Yeah.
I imagine there's all sorts of things.
Well, there'd be an
poor
obvious
guy.
thing happening, but there you go.
Cue more awkwardness because she's got some, well, as you'd expect, candid observations of him
Yep.
and his performance and this sort of thing. And it transpires from the diary that Paul is not the first to show her Casablanca.
Oh.
Or was not the first to show her Casablanca.
Right.
They go back into the kitchen and decide, as a last-ditch attempt to get the romance train back on the rails,
Yeah.
to put Casablanca on.
And they want to recreate all of that. And at the time, they had champagne and pate
Yes.
and all that. And so they go to the fridge hunting for champagne and pate.
Yeah. And they settle down for a snog and Casablanca on the couch, and she's taped over it.
Yeah. With Oprah.
And something
yeah.
pretty tragic.
And by the way, they haven't got champagne and pate. They've got low-fat milk and some other garbage. I don't know.
Yes. So that's killed the mood again. And then they decide they're just going to do nothing.
Yeah.
No.
Call it off.
Call it
Yeah.
call it all off. He's going to work on his movie. She's going to read and eat some chocolate. So she's on her way over to the bookshelf. So he settled himself down
with his laptop.
4-inch thick laptop.
Yep, that's right.
And she's on her way to the bookshelf to grab something there, and but she does grab his butt on the way to the bookshelf, which you don't really make much of. But then she's reaching up for a book high up on the shelf, which exposes her midriff.
Because she's wearing more or less a crop top.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
And so he notes this, and then she goes back to the couch, and they see each other looking longingly at each other and realise that perhaps all is not lost. And then they basically race each other to the bedroom.
And that's the end of the episode.
Yes.
Apart from...
There is a little note at the end just to say that they did not injure Murray the Wonder Dog.
He didn't slam into any walls.
Yeah, they weren't slamming him into any walls.
Yeah.
And they didn't injure any mice.
Yeah, or her elbow.
Or her elbow. Yes, I was a bit worried
so it's a public service announcement.
Yeah. Very good. I'm glad they did that. I wouldn't have been able to sleep for fear of Murray banging into walls.
Yeah. And I'm sure you're going to bring it up, but you said that, and that's trying to pad the episode out a bit.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that.
All right.
Do you want to say anything about Murray while we're on the subject
of
Murray?
Look, no, well...
Because I know the listeners are waiting with bated breath.
Well remembered. Well, I naturally enough wanted to find out when he died. Because, if he was rocking it in, the 90s, surely he's not going to be with us anymore. But anyway, he did 107 episodes of Mad About You, and the dog's name in real life was Maui, as in the Hawaiian... Yeah.
He's the Hawaiian
But it's more or less
dog.
like Murray and Maui. If you had a strange accent, you could mix the two up. Maui. Anyhow, he did have a previous owner who called him Swifty. Anyway, he did go on. He's got 2 credits on IMDb, Steve. He did a movie, a Christmas movie in 2005, which I didn't bother writing down the title for. And Murray played Miss Somebody. So that was interesting. And
so interesting you couldn't be bothered writing it down.
Couldn't be bothered writing it down. Well, we were trying to watch Mad About You. I had to keep my mind on the task at hand. And he was found in a California animal shelter before being trained up by, one of them there, Hollywood animal trainers.
Yep. Well, good attention to detail there. Is there some particular reason why Murray stuck in your mind?
Well, it's a trio, isn't it? He's part of the family. There's 3 of them in the apartment. You'd hardly call this just a 2-hander.
Right.
Murray virtually stars in this bloody episode. So, and he's what everyone remembers.
I'm not going to argue with it.
Oh, so now it's time to launch into the criticism.
Yes. I'm not really sure where to start. I thought I might see what you thought of it first before I explain why I thought it was really poor.
Yeah.
I would say I've got a short and jumbled set of notes.
Oh, okay. Well, so I guess the main theme is, in a nutshell, you're thinking, get on with it. Well, in comparison to the last episode, where they tried a bunch of crap things that didn't really land, this time it was more, there were some things that landed, but it leaves you puzzled and scratching your head and saying, why?
What were the things that landed?
I've got some good gags here. When they're in the kitchen, right, and they're talking about foregoing the bing and the bang and just getting to the boom with the whole bing, bang, boom thing. And
the big bang boom theory.
Paul, well done. Hey, Paul said, well, that's right. I mean, we're guys, we're all about the boom. We invented the bing and the bang just to get to the boom. And I thought, what a tremendous line. And not inaccurate. So that was a brilliant gag, I thought.
Yep.
Yeah, so I got a chuckle out of that. So I got 2 chuckles there. That was not bad.
Well, I had a chuckle from the Big Bang Boom
line
gag.
as well. Okay.
Yep, that's one of the 2 I had written down. And the other one was when he's unplugging the phone, he says, the world can live without us for 2 minutes. She goes,
2 minutes?
Only 2 minutes?
Oh.
Disappointment?
Yeah.
Yes, that was the list of good gags I had.
Oh, man. Yes. But, in general terms, I think, look, they've got a good cast in this show. And a good cast, as we've said before, can cover up a lot of sins. And there's a lot of stuff that Paul Reiser and Helen Hunt, if they weren't delivering it, would be horrendous. I can't think of anything, any examples to give you, Steve. But it did make me think a few times, if the British cast were delivering this...
See, they cherry-picked the best episodes and turned them into rubbish episodes. Imagine what they would have done with this.
It doesn't bear thinking about, but I couldn't help thinking about it.
Oh.
It was terrible. Yes, but they didn't cover up all the sins, just as in the last episode with Still Open All Hours. You've got a cast of absolute brilliant comedy veterans. But yeah, no, they couldn't do it either, and neither could these guys.
Yeah, I said that Paul and Helen are giving it their usual naturalistic best. But
absolutely.
It's not like it comes across that they're reaching, knowing that they're working with some lackluster material. They're just giving it their best.
Yeah.
And as you know, the normal kind of great performance, but unfortunately,
maybe they thought it was pure gold. I mean, you know, a lot of this.
I've got some theories about this.
Yeah, I'm sure if you're a New Yorker, you would have had a lot to relate to in this episode, and you would have gone, yes, they nailed that. That's hilarious.
Maybe.
All right. Anyway, off you go with the rant, I say.
Well, just talking about why they might have thought they were onto a winner. The sitcom About Nothing was very trendy back in the day.
Oh, that's true.
Around this time. We know that Seinfeld had some success at doing that, so I was wondering whether they'd had a stab at doing that here.
That totally makes sense.
Oh, what about if we just did an episode where the whole thing's about us trying to get to the bedroom and consummate
and the various things that happen.
And all these crazy things get in the way. So maybe they had a stab at doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or it might have been a bottle episode.
That's right.
What's a bottle episode, Jeff?
Oh, I would have preferred you to tackle it, but it's one where you haven't quite got the budget, and you might have poured a lot of resources into some other absolute cracker of episodes, and so you've got some episodes there where you need to balance the budget, pull back on it somewhat, and have something set on only one set, so to speak.
One existing standing set.
Yeah, so you can save a bit of
cast
more
members.
Yeah.
Yep, and all that stuff. It's sometimes done because another script falls through or something like that, so they throw it together quickly. So I thought it could have been that. My other theory was that maybe Paul Reiser just wanted a good excuse to kiss Helen Hunt.
Oh, yeah, there was plenty of that going
times.
on.
Yes, but in any case, I just felt like there wasn't enough here to hold our interest. I also was wondering, would this have been considered edgy back in the early 90s? Maybe this is what
isn't it?
How they were coming at it.
What year was this again? Sorry, Steve.
Well, it was 93, 92, something like 93.
That. Well, maybe it would have, but then perhaps not. I don't think it would have been considered edgy. No.
No. Okay.
No.
So it wasn't that. Okay. Well, I'll come back to one of my main gripes with it. I've got highlighted here exercise in futility.
Okay.
And it seems obvious to me that they were never going to consummate their passion on the screen, which is fine. But it also becomes clear after you've watched about 3 minutes of it that this episode is going absolutely nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
Other than to have bits of frustration thrown in when others get in the way of their plans, like the mother-in-law, Fran coming around, and then the other stuff which is annoying is when they shilly-shally around and get distracted by diaries and Casablanca and
food,
work stuff and radio. And
yeah,
this is where I was wondering if they weren't padding in some of the stuff, like the radio. So I felt like there was no stakes in the whole thing. And by the end of the episode, I was just thinking, who really cares if they do or they don't?
Well, precisely.
And this makes you wonder, similar to the previous episode, listeners, of Still Open All Hours, it makes you wonder why two consenting adults in their own house can't get things together, you know?
That's right.
Put the bloody dog out.
Yeah.
Pull the phone out of the wall.
Keep the windows shut.
Shut the windows.
Yeah. Don't answer the door.
Yeah. Just
get on with it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway. And then just the last thing is the dog gag.
Yeah.
With Murray going backwards and forwards. I mean, did they really think that was a cracker?
Well, it might have, the first
6 times they did.
The first thud, fair enough, but you're not going to get much more mileage out of it, eh? After that, with the 4th and the 5th thud is not going to be. I wasn't feeling it. No, exactly. And I'm just wondering why is he sprinting full pelt at the wall and then going thud, because they have got floorboards. So what you'd hear is clatter, 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 skid.
Yep.
And then whack. But we weren't hearing clatter and skid.
No.
Anyway, I shouldn't be so detail oriented on.
You're very into the dog
plots.
Very into the dog detail.
Well, because as we're recording, I can hear the cat out in the hallway going clatter, 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 skid.
Okay.
No, I agree with what you said there. it's diminishing returns on the dog thing, and that would have been the first thing I did was shut the dog out of the room. But I found another good
Another
line.
good one.
We
Okay.
were trashing the whole music thing, but when Helen Hunt came out and they're trying to get it onto Beethoven after dismissing all the other music,
Yep.
and it gets to the most epic, famous bit of Beethoven possible, and she goes, "No, this is too much pressure," and I just thought, that was a great line. That was pretty good. So, like, before we get into anything further, Steve, can we do some window talk
okay.
here?
Window talk.
No, it baffles me. So they opened up the window. What do you think you're going to hear? Now, they heard this classic New York bickering of what they're going to become. So it was an older couple, and she's going, "What do you want for dinner?" And he's going, "I'm talking here," or something like, he didn't say that, obviously, but New York
I
stuff.
was like, "Hey, I'm trying to make love to my wife here."
Yeah, that's right. And
Shut up about your dinner.
And then you shut up. No, you shut up. Right. So there's all the. You knew that was going to happen, and like on a practical basis, I thought they have no fly screens, as we'd call them, on the windows there, so anything can just fly in.
Yeah.
Or cockroaches could crawl in. And do they get mosquitoes in New York, Steve, or is it too cold?
I don't know. I'd say yes.
But it seemed weird, and I don't think those windows were double glazed, and they were saying it was freezing. And so, anyway,
Well, I think she was hot. No, she was cold and he was hot, or something like that.
that's right.
Because they were on different pages about pretty much anything.
Yep.
Yeah, and everything.
Yeah, if I lived in New York, I'd never open the window.
No,
You might want some fresh air, though.
especially if you're not 15 stories up.
I guess so.
I'd be a bit nervous.
Oh well, I've got no business talking about that. Who am I to be throwing my New York window opinions out there when I've never... That's just ridiculous. Apologies to all New York people.
So would you say we're on the same page?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I wouldn't... Well, without doubt, it's absolutely 2-star. It's just depending on what else you're going to say, might bash it down to
I
a
haven't got
1-star
anything
easy.
else to say. I've already
Well,
said
look,
everything
let
I've got
me
to say.
run this by you then. So even at the beginning, when you'd think they'd be still whipping out the good gags, we've got this whole conversation that the payoff is yachting in the fur trade
Yeah.
when they're in the bathroom. Yachting in the fur trade brings that down for me, that whole bathroom scene. And that's what they start with. And then Murray jumping up and down on the bed. Murray gets up on the bed and he just parks himself and they're snogging.
Yep.
And then Jamie does the very wise thing of throwing Murray out, but she said, "No, get off my good sweater." And Paul says, "Don't tell him it's a sweater. He thought he got lucky."
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That line didn't hit at all.
No. Stupid dog.
Yeah. Not his fault, though. He's just working with the material he's got.
Yeah. We can't fault Murray's performance.
Yeah. And just the thought of having the
Maui's
trainer,
performance.
the trainer just out of shot, lying on the floor, trying to tempt Maui with a bit of ham or something like that.
With a KFC drumstick.
Exactly.
Original recipe or...
Or Zinger. It wasn't Zinger.
No, there was no zingers.
Oh, you said it was
No
a
zingers here.
Zinger-free zone.
Yes.
Yeah, so definitely 2-star. I could be convinced that it's 1-star. Fair enough,
Well,
but I want to
if we
hear the
apply
rest of what you've got.
No, I don't have anything else.
You don't have anything
I
else?
was thinking when you said about the 2-star, 1-star thing and hearkening back to Still Open All Hours, we were saying how we judge that one in light of the greatness of Open All Hours.
Yeah.
And yes, I think it's a bit like that.
I'm happily going to put it into the Hall of Shame.
Oh,
I think where I'm... firstly, I want to hear...
How many good gags did you have? 3?
Yeah, I had 3 good gags.
3 good gags.
Yeah.
Is that enough to get it off
It's
the
not
1-star?
It's not the world's strongest hit rate, is it?
No.
Oh,
And it had bad gag as well.
it had some bad gags. Absolutely, it did. Yeah.
Think of the
And
fur-
it was just
think of the fur trade.
and that's in the opening couple of minutes. But we're just retreading old ground now. But essentially, it was just a case of, can you get on with it? And unlike you, I thought, I didn't think they were going to start making love on screen or anything like that, but I thought maybe it would go somewhere.
No, see, I just knew it was going nowhere.
But it didn't go anywhere.
Nope.
2 things.
Right.
So firstly is you said you've had this one planned for months.
Yep.
So as soon as you saw it, take us through it, Steve. You were watching Mad About You, and then you were just so disappointed at the end many months ago. You thought, I have to create a whole new category of Sitcom Showdown episode.
Yeah, I was just gobsmacked that we were going to have to sit through another 15 minutes of this, knowing it was going absolutely nowhere. And the dog going backwards and forwards. and the people laughing at the dog
Right.
on the 5th and 6th time. It was just unbelievable.
And so
Like,
you
this
can
is not
see it from
funny.
there.
Do it once, do it twice, but
Yeah.
for goodness sake.
Get rid of Murray.
Oh,
Yeah.
we've got another 2 minutes we need to fill. Oh, let's have the dog go backwards and forwards another few times.
Yeah, I can totally see that. And the other thing was that I think where I'm also having a little bit of mental block here is I've seen Loved by You, which is genuinely, if this is 1 star, what is Loved by You?
Oh, we've got to invent a whole new category.
Point 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, cool. Look, I say that we shut the door on the Hall of Shame with 2 entries in it.
How do you
And,
feel about the whole exercise at this point?
Well-
Is it a bit of a bummer talking about
No,
even
there's-
the bad episodes?
There's
of a good
nothing
sitcom?
nicer than putting the boot into something. It's fantastic. And yet, I don't think that the sitcoms we picked or the episodes we picked live in infamy as being notoriously bad. You know what I mean? Is there a Blackadder that's thought of as being notoriously bad?
What do the listeners say?
Well,
I'm not going to think about it.
Fair enough too. And look,
Over to you. Send
we've-
us a message. I'll read it out.
Yeah, fantastic. And look, we've successfully padded our way out into
Yeah.
past 40 minutes. So high fives all round.
All right, what are we doing next month?
So in June, Steve, we're back to normal.
Yes.
So we're going to be nominating episodes. Now, I've got it written down here what I'm actually going to be nominating, which I'm not going to
don't
tell
show
you.
me.
And then in July, we're having Actor Month, which I always look forward to ever since last year. Yeah.
Good. Yes, I'll have to pick someone.
Yeah. Now, who did we do last year, Steve?
We did Judd Hirsch.
Judd Hirsch.
That's the one I chose.
And Julia.
Julia Swalia.
Mm.
Yes. All right, that'll be good.
But as for next month, it's all June normality.
All right. Well, listeners, if you've got any comments, abuse, whatever you want to send through, do that in all the usual places.
Yes.
And we'll see you in a fortnight or so.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Ta-ta.
See ya.
Join us next time on Sitcom Showdown when we'll be putting another 5-star episode under the microscope. And in the meantime, you can contact us with feedback on Facebook, Twitter @Sitcom Showdown, or by email sitcomshowdown@gmail.com.